The Miami Dolphins have made move after move. They've used money and picks to bolster this 2022 roster. But the Dolphins still have some holes, and they still have some ammo for this upcoming draft that could really pay big dividends if they land a good player, at least one with the third and fourth pick. And one of the players I heard today was Zac Tom, Wake Forest tackle/center, who was coming into a visit with the Miami Dolphins. So, my love for the offensive line, did some checking on him, some research. I'm going to go over this player, and he is very intriguing. Now, I haven't done enough big-time study on this guy to say, oh, he's going to be this or that. But I'm going to show you a little film, go over who he is and what he's kind of put together in his short career so far. And I think you're going to be as intrigued as I am. Now, I'm not a draftnik. I know there's so many draftniks out there, so I'm going to look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts in the comment to refine my thoughts, because I'm going to watch more tape on this guy because I'm really, really interested. And there is opportunity for the Dolphins to land him because he's being pegged as a second round by some all the way to fifth round. So this guy's draft status is all over the map. But a bunch of teams are really interested in him now, as that's the word going around. Remember, it's all lies now, so who knows? The Saints, Panthers, Dolphins, among other teams. But this kid is really, really intriguing. He was a tackle for the last 2 years and had a pretty successful career. But when we get into him, you'll see he's more likely a center for us, which is what we desperately need. Going to do some tape on Michael Deter coming up. Some of the players, offensive linemen last year, how they performed in zone stretch. I got a bunch of more offensive line stuff coming. But I really wanted to get into this right away. So Tom, 6'5", 312. He's less than that, though. He's been bulking up. He's been eating at the buffet table just to put some weight on. And I don't think it's really good weight. I think he'll drop, especially when the season comes. Everybody always drops. You can't maintain the weight. So he's more like a low 300s type kind of guy. He's got 33 and 1/4 inch arm length. Hands are 10 and 3/8. So he's got shortish arms, but big mitts, and he's a little small. But he ran the 40 in 4.94 seconds, had a 33-inch vertical, which is pretty good. 7.32, 0.32 three-cone drill, and a short run of 4.47. Both these are excellent for an offensive lineman. In fact, Tom has the highest relative athletic score for a center in NFL history. Now, this only goes from 1987 to 2022. So this guy is definitely a super athlete in some regards, in many of the areas of his game. It's a composite RAS score of 10, ranking first among centers since 1987 to 2022, like I just said. This measures height, weight, 40-yard dash, bench press, and other testing numbers. He needs to build his strength. He needs to put a little more sand in the lower half of his body. At tackle, he appeared a little overmatched. Wake Forest was a very pass-heavy offense. He looked great in pro sets, which is phenomenal if you want to translate that to the professional level. Little struggles in his wide zone run blocking, not so good. His inside zone blocking was actually pretty good. But overall, this guy was out of position and still nailing it. The film I got is him versus Clemson, which is a top-level team that pulling first-round draft picks off this team year in, year out. So I got some film from that game, and this kid handled his own at tackle. And I think from what I'm seeing in his traits, he could be very, very good in the center position. Although, when you look at certain players like Jonah Williams and Isaiah Wynn that are smaller tackles, over in Cincinnati and with the Patriots, I'm not really high on those kind of guys, but they've had some success. I've seen two different matchups for current players. Mitch Morris, the center, and Kelvin Beachum. Morris is now was with the Bills. And then Kelvin Beachum was with the Cardinals. He's a tackle. And so these are the two comps that he's getting. And both these guys are serviceable, good players, but I don't think either one are even in the realm of athleticism, which adds to this kid, Zac Tom's potential. Really, really, really very impressed. Zac Tom played, he had 3,107 snaps, and it says just gave up 2 sacks. That was one article, but I was looking at PFF, and they say he gave up about 4 sacks through his career. But he only allowed 1 pressure game last season, and it was ultra pass happy. And again, he was out of position. So he's coming in with the Dolphins. The Dolphins have that comp, the 3rd round compensatory pick, which puts them really on the outside range of some of the higher evaluations of where this kid's going to go. And I think I'm tending to agree that this kid's going to go a little higher than Lou. I don't see him going in the 5th round. I don't see him unless it's very early in the 4th. But I see late 2nd. That's a long shot, but somewhere in that 3rd, I see him going. But I could also see him possibly fall to that 4th round, or in position where he dumps back to that middle 3rd, late 3rd, where the Dolphins possibly could trade up. But I don't know if they're going to. I think they're just kind of playing it out to see if I don't think they're going to trade up for him. But this kid is very, very, very intriguing. So let's take a look at the tape and see what we see. All right, you can see he looks a little small, but look at the way he's got good evaluation of the situation. He comes off quick, gets his hand inside. He's able, this is going to be perfect for him at center, where he can evaluate and not get caught in stunts and swaps and switches. Here, stays with this guy, hand inside, great footwork, great hand placement, and he always fights to the end. He's always fighting. But again, a little small there. You see here, look, he peels off just enough, gets that hand in, no hold, just enough for the quarterback to squeak out and make that play. But that was good vision on his part. And again, that's great for center. You look at mirroring the defender, hands inside, great technique. Eichenberg and Jackson could definitely use this guy's technique. Just really never quits. Again, he's inside here, mirroring, hand inside, fighter, good base, doesn't get overstretched, gets those glutes tucked under and controls the situation. Fighting again inside, hands inside. He's able to just at the very end lock it up and just enough to get the pass off. And I love to see that. Here he gets beat in the sweep and swim, but again, he just keeps fighting. Good footwork, good hand technique, and he just battles enough just to get the pass off. And he is out of position. So I'm sorry for the bad film. I had to grab it off YouTube. When I do my NFL stuff, I got the package and I get the good looks. This was off YouTube. Is all I could get, especially on short notice. But you can see this kid, his footwork, his technique, his hand play, his ability to tuck his cheeks, his glutes, buck up and stand the guy up is very good. And I love his ability to, with his vision. And, even though he only had 60 snaps last year at wide zone runs, and I think he was like 113th ranked in college. But again, that's a tackle. But this guy's ability, see, when you run wide zone, you have shooters and helmet to helmet. Coaches around the world in the league, they got different terms for it. But one guy, he shoots to the guy he's supposed to block. And another guy, his job is helmet to helmet. He comes in and puts his helmet to the guy who's getting double right now, helmet. And then, depending on how things go, one of those guys peel off to the second level. A lot of times that tends to be the center. But this guy's movement skills at the center position to get helmet to helmet and to get to that second level just feels really good. I'm not saying it's a definite deal, but this guy is smart. And, some people, some older fans, some more, I'm a Dolphin draftnik, not just, I'm not an NFL draftnik. But you remember Jameel Douglas. And he kind of reminds me a little bit of this kid in that their physical makeup, shorter arms, a little smaller, big mitts, and athletic, are very similar. Jamil went to us in the 4th round, and both of them had strength issues, but that's really where the comparison ends. Zac Tom is probably 2 to 3 levels higher upstairs. Just as a general, you get a feel when he talks, this guy is smart, and then you can see how he moved up and down the line and what he was able to do. He's got football smarts, and he's way on a different level than Jamil was. And then from an athletic level, the only thing we don't have is the bench comp, because Zac Tom didn't do any benching, and Douglas did like 28. But every other measurable that they had, they both tested under. Zac Tom is either 1 to 2 levels higher than everything else Douglas did, or even 3 and 4. I mean, the difference in athletic talent and intelligence of Tom versus Douglas, not against Douglas. Guy didn't really do great in the NFL, but to make it to where he is, the guy's a phenomenal athlete, and he's obviously got a pretty high football IQ. Just didn't really fit well in the NFL, didn't reach that level. But Zac Tom is superior, like elite intelligence and elite athletic ability. And I think this guy will be a very, very good center. Now, it might not pan out that way. Anything can happen. Maybe he'll struggle with the strengths, but he's got to get in the right system. Inside zone, I really don't like him as much. Obviously, in man blocking. But that wide zone that we're going to be running, that stretch and cut, stretch, double, and can open to the second level, I really, really like this kid. And I think that when you hear this guy talk, he's really serious about his craft. And he's 23 years old, in 2 to 3 years, get that sand in the lower half of the body. Because he's 6'4", 6'5"-ish. There is a possibility this guy could develop into a tackle. Long shot, yes. But I think that in a couple of years, he could at least be a quality backup for you at tackle and a good starter. And I'm really going to watch this kid. I'm going to start watching more tape of him. I'm going to be really excited. And I think everybody's raving, about the skills and the defense, and they're excited about Tua. But again, it all goes back to this offensive line, and we need to do more work. Armstead, Williams, Hunt, I'm feeling pretty good. Aside from the injury issues maybe with Armstead. But that center position and right tackle spot with Jackson and Deter and Eichenberg, I'm not so settled. And I think if we can get this kid late in that 3rd round, and maybe even a small pick for a trade to get him, I think it would be very, very good for us. So anyway, please, I know there's a lot of college guys out there. Let me know what you think. This was my cursory study. This is just me introducing myself to the player, but I really feel good about this kid. And I'm hoping that Greer goes after this guy. I think he's perfect for our system. At least he'd be a quality backup, better center than we probably have right now. Anyway, this is Curtis saying thank you for staying to the end. I got some more film for you coming up. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Comments, especially in this one, mean the most because it make me sound smarter down the road when I talk about this guy, when I hear from you people. I really appreciate that. Subscribes and likes help us with the Google overlords. And Ace Per Head, our sponsors, they're ecstatic when the Google overlords are happy. So subscribes, likes, views, comments, all that stuff keeps me in business. And I'm really, really liking this. I'm really enjoying myself. So all that you have done and do in the future is going to be much appreciated. Anyway, this is Curtis saying thanks for staying to the end. Catch you next time, and be well. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.